Take it. Like I have thousands of clients and my mentors have tens of thousands of clients. I think my mentor told me he has about 75,000 clients that he's personally worked on. By the way, disclosure, this may not work for every single person. Like this might not work 100% of the time, but maybe close. A lot of people don't really understand how to do this properly. So student loans, in my opinion, I'm always going to advocate for consumers, should not be reported on a credit report. When I talk about removing a student loan, a collection, or a late payment, maybe that will fall in the category. I guess a little technical, depends. It's really about the bigger picture. It's really about the whole system. The system as a whole, the credit reporting system as a whole is flawed. Now, I know you guys might say this is a scam or this is BS or no, how can you do this? Let me tell you something. We're American citizens. We can fight for our rights. Do you understand what that means? We're not in a communist socialist republic. So you have the right to vote. And the Fair Credit Reporting Act used to be one of those things where people thought it was a scam. Like, how could you do this? But there was a bunch of people that went to Congress and fought for the Fair Credit Reporting Act. Before, there was no such thing. There's another video. The video after I post about this, I'm going to talk more about that because there's been people that have said nonsense like this. This isn't the video for that, but the next video is. Maybe I'll leave it here or something like that, but watch that video after this one. This is about student loans.
And then these items which are still pending. So we already got IMC, these collections off, we got a student loan off, and then a repossession. Okay, so that's the proof right here. It says removed. Here indicate the items that were removed, and then these items which are still pending. So we already got IMC, these collections off.
I've been removing student loans for quite a while. This is not hocus pocus. This is not magic. This is just part of your consumer rights. You need exhibits. Exhibits meaning, one can say exhibits is case law, but for the sake of this video, exhibits is your proof. We need to see your credit reports. If you're serious about fixing your credit, you need to have multiple sources of pulling your credit. MyFICO is one, Credit Karma is another, and then, directly to the Bureau's websites. You can dispute online as well, which we'll go in later on how to do that specifically. There's also, there's a lot of fallacy in the industry going on about online disputes, which I'll make another video. I've made videos before, but I'll make an updated video about that. And I've had blog articles about this as well. In this video, I know it might seem like I'm like ADHD or ADD, but it's not because I have lack of focus. It's because this is relevant. There are so many components to removing student loans that tie into other facets of your consumer rights. So it's hard to not go on a tangent about other subsets of laws and laws and other consumer laws, not outside the Fair Credit Reporting Act, because you have the Fair Credit Reporting Act, Fair Debt Collection Practice Act, the Fair and Accurate Transaction Act, Fair Credit Billing Act, Equal Credit Opportunity Act, TILA, Truth in Lending Act, etc. Too many to count. That's why I need to hire an expert. Anyway, so you need your exhibits. You need your credit reports. All right? So links in the description below. Pull them because you will need them. And you need case law. You need proof that this has worked. Otherwise, you're going to give the governing bodies or bureaucracies that can have the power to remove this shit, such as CFPB or any state agencies, depending upon what state that you're in. I'm in California right now. I might be in New York tomorrow, but there's different state agencies for certain states, not all, unfortunately. But usually you can use those agencies and they work just as good, if not better than the CFPB. And then here's another tangent. There's a lot of people that really don't know what the fuck they're talking about. And they're saying the CFPB was ended because of Donald Trump, or credit scores are changing because of Donald Trump.
You can see, look at this nonsense, guys. 7 hours ago. The date is February 12th. You can check right here. And the CFPB is officially closed because of Trump. If that's the case, then what am I doing right here? I could file a complaint easily. I could do anything. Debt collection. I could do auto debt. I could. This is just preposterous. Like, I don't know what to tell you. But you cannot trust people that do DIY credit repair on YouTube. I mean, if you're so good, why don't you just do it for people as a service? There must be some reason why people are scared to do this. Did the company provide information? See, like if it was closed, I would not be able to. I just created an account. And I could legitimately say, you know, Mike, the credit guy, scammed me. Boom.
No credit score is changing. I'll make another video about that. And I made a video about the CFPB. If you think I'm BSing, you could watch the video in the link description. There's just so much BS out there. It's just annoying dealing with so many people that have lots of following on social media and they just spread a bunch of bullshit, right? So this video will clear up any confusion because I don't care what you think. I don't care what you say. I don't care what you post. This is the truth. We remove student loans based upon these laws.
Case study, and we got all these student loans off, as you can see. And other things, such as collections, ASC SunTrust, and portfolio. Yeah. Some collection stuff like that. So yeah, there it is. It's proof that we can remove a lot of stuff off your credit.
No one can say anything about that because that's the truth. Thank you. So, CFPB, you get your case law from the CFPB archive. I hope you see this. The CFPB archive and private case studies such as our own. Like I have thousands of clients and my mentors have tens of thousands of clients. I think my mentor told me he has about 75,000 clients that he's personally worked on. I have to check the email because he just sent that to me last year. He said, I've worked on about 70,000 clients. And of those 70,000, he had a good amount of student loans removed. I used to work with him, right? And I've seen with my 2 eyes student loans removed. It's not BS. By the way, disclosure, this may not work for every single person. Like this might not work 100% of the time, but maybe close. I don't know the percentage, right? Because how many people call me? Who's to say? But I do know it works very, very well. So try it. Have a consultation with me. Before you try anything, by the way, guys, you don't have to book a consultation with me just to become a customer, right? You have like 15 minutes to do a consultation with me. You can bring me any file and I'll answer any questions you have. You just have to book a consultation in the link description below. It's not necessarily for you to sign up. Lots of other experts hit me up, refer me business, or talk crap about me because they don't know what they're talking about. But if you're smart, you would listen to this video because this is what's really working. So we talked about exhibits, case law, how to get the case laws from the CFPB archive and private case studies and the CDIA. Okay, for those of you that don't know. Now, then once we have this, we have to understand who can enforce your case. Who can enforce your case? Well, it depends on the state, all right? Because California has their own state agencies that deal with consumer credit errors and other stuff like that. And then you have the federal law, which is the Fair Credit Reporting Act, Consumer Financial Protection Act. We have 15 U.S.C. 1681E, subdivision B. We have 15 U.S.C. 1681I, and then we have fairness and non-discrimination, which is very important because this is the crux of part of the Fair Credit Reporting Act, Truth in Lending Act as well. Okay? Because Truth in Lending Act can be used in this level, right? It's a loan, it's lending. Fairness and non-discrimination. Responsibilities of furnishers of information, 15 U.S.C. 1681 S2. And then number 5, adverse impact of errors. Let's go over them. I use all of these. These are the main ones that I use, but I also use other laws. I can't fit all the laws in one video, but these are just the main ones that really, really work. I can't talk about every certain situation that my clients have been through because every client is different. That's why I recommend you book a consultation with me so I can show you what the situation is, right? Everyone is different, somewhat different, similar. Some people are kind of the same. It really depends. I don't know. Nobody knows until you book a consultation with me. So I know for a fact whether I can help you or not, or just, just tell you, help you on your merry the fuck way. Because to be honest with you, some of you guys, I don't even want to deal with you. All right, consumer, number 1, accuracy and information. 15 USC 1681 subdivision B. Consumer reporting agencies, CRAs, are required to ensure maximum possible accuracy in credit reports. If a late payment is inaccurately reported or disproportionately impacts a consumer's credit profile, it may violate this provision. Very, very important. You just have to find a couple late payments and you could use this to your advantage. Are you tracking? Number 2, you have the right to dispute accuracies. We know that. Consumers have the right to dispute inaccurate or incomplete information on their credit reports. If a CRA or loan servicer fails to investigate, very important, if they fail to investigate or correct errors related to late payments, this section could be cited. All right? Number 3, while the FCR does not explicitly address fairness in weighing positive versus negative information, its purpose is to promote fairness in credit reporting. Hello, gray area. Use of bureaucracy to your advantage, which, as my case study in the video that is in somewhere in this link description, is proof that people in the CFPB and state agencies are acknowledging what we're saying. They don't have the power to change much. They're just an agency. But what they can do is remove stuff off you. Like I would even go to so much as go to Congress and have this changed. We've seen medical bills change. That's one thing that Trump, I guess, has changed in his presidency. Medical bills, as of this month, medical bills are not supposed to be reported on credit reports. Did you realize that? Are you guys aware of that? Yeah, things can change drastically. All right. You go to court, you go to the Supreme Court, and you argue for this. Okay, you go to legislation. Go to Congress. All right. A case could argue that the lack of proportional recognition for on-time payments undermines this principle. Very, very important. Very, very important. Let me put my $3,000 computer down. So, 2 terabyte. I don't really like this chair. It makes me feel too effects. Isn't it funny how a student loan you could pay off for many, many months, maybe even years, with perfect on-time payment history. And it obviously reflects your liability versus how much you paid off. Let's just say you had a $100,000 student loan, right? That's a installment loan, and that is debt calculated against whatever you had weighed against it on the positive side. They're looking at what's called your debt to credit ratio, the reported debt on your credit report, not your income, because your income is not really evaluated in the credit score, right? That's more like what private banking does in underwriting specifically for loans, but they use the credit report as a pillar, as a backbone, but your income can make yourself look better. There's situations where people have large amounts of cash, but they lack credit, so they're stuck. There's people that have really stellar credit, but their income is low. You got to find the soft spot where you have super duper credit and you have super duper income, and you marry the two. It's never either or. That's not a good situation to be in. So back to what I was saying. You have the installment debt. You have the installment loan. The more you pay it off, it makes sense according to the Fair Credit Reporting Act. And if we look at how other trade lines are reported, that your credit to debt ratio is now changed. When you begin to pay things off, you become less of a liability, right? It makes sense. If I borrowed money from you, if I have a credit card and it's maxed out, you know the score is going to go down in proportion to the amount that we borrow in comparison to what else we have due to the length that we have it in and the credit amount and the credit card type. And then the diversity of our credit. This is the basic foundations of the FICO score, depending upon what algorithm you may work with. They're pretty much all kind of the same. I know there's news saying, oh, credit scores are changing. Not really. Not really. I mean, if you're good across the board, you're good across the board. If you're responsible, you have nothing to worry about. There's nothing going to be night and day difference. I know some people experience huge, significant shifts, but not a lot of people. That's relative to what you compare it as. Who am I to say that? But my case is that it doesn't happen to everyone. It's not life-threatening. I don't know. Maybe it is. Let me know. Give me a call and I'll look at your report. So back what I was saying, this is very, very, very important. Isn't it really unfair, hence Fair Credit Reporting Act, right? We use words to communicate thoughts which have legal definitions according to Black's Law's definition, and the legal definition of definitions, which is basically the law. The law is detailed and precise. So we're not going to use fairness to misconstrue it with unfairness. And what we define as fair has to be the opposite of unfairness. So let me tell you what I think is fair. You might agree. Whether you agree with me or not doesn't fucking matter, because I'm getting results for people that pay me. That's a fact. So if you're smart, you'll hire me. Okay, here we go. You can have years of perfect on-time payments on a student loan, but the moment you get a late payment, why does that screw up your score? When you didn't get rewarded for all the on-time payments. That's not fair at all. Why? I mean, if one is going to be accounted for how responsible they are at borrowing, why are student loans looked at differently? That's the question, right? That is very, very important. If there's any lawyers watching this, you want to go to Congress with me and argue for this, let me know. Hit me up in the comment section. You have my number. Hit me up and we'll go together and we'll change laws. We're movers and shakers here. We're Americans. We change things. We don't just accept things how they are, right? We fight for our rights. And it's fucked up. It's really fucked up that you can have a student loan and have perfect on-time payment history. But the moment you get a late payment, all of a sudden your score drops. I had a client just the other day. His name was Thomas. He was a client. I'll show you right now. He was a client from years ago. Let's see here. Oh, Thomas, right here. Okay. Where is he? Okay, right here. You see that? I hope you see it. I need to talk to you immediately. Basically, his wife had like a mysterious late payment reported on the student loan, and the score dropped 100 points. I hope you saw it. I hope my autofocus is working. And that's the story with him. That's the story with him. We're going to use this exact formula to get that student loan off. We've gotten so many student loans off for people. We don't get the late payment removed. Why? Because here's the thing. It should not be reported if they're not reporting it fairly. And they have to prove how they calculated it. And currently, here's the kicker. All right? Listen to me. All right? They are not set up to prove how they reported. FICO, Verizon Corporation, or the bureaus. Imagine that. The student loan system that the government has there, right? I might go to Dodge with this, you know, Elon Musk's thing. Yeah, we got to change this shit. It's messed up, right? We got to audit this because they cannot prove how they calculate this precisely on Verizon Corporation side or not. So this is something that really needs to be looked at seriously. Mark my words in this video. Currently, we're getting student loans removed off, but they shouldn't be affecting people in the first place. And I'm using this case law of the fact that this has been removed by credit bureaus and CFPB because for the longest time, I never used the CFPB up until recent years. Now people are saying the CFPB is shut down. Oh, give me a break. Shut up, you morons. I don't think there's any video that goes so much into depth as far as this argument. There's case study on my YouTube channel. I get results with these arguments right here and these laws and citations. Not all of them, but these are the main ones. Adverse impact on errors. Due to the fact that this is not reported correctly, it has adversely affected the customer and they've received damage. It needs to be reported. They have yet to prove their legal right to report it due upon the fairness of the reporting, weighing the positive payment history weighed against the late payments. It's unfair that they only calculate if it's late. That's bullshit. How come credit cards are not graded like that? When you make an on-time payment, you get notification from Credit Karma or Experian. Oh, good job. You've made a payment. You made all of your payments on time. You made 9 payments. Okay? Why are student loans any different? That is discrimination. Okay? That is an error. That is an adverse action, and that's not fairness. And that is irresponsible for a data furnisher of certain data using all of these laws. Now, a person's IQ score is going to result in their interpretation of the Fair Credit Reporting Act. No differently, I hope you guys can comprehend this. If you give a basketball to Michael Jordan and we give a basketball to you, you have the same tools, but do you really? Who's going to win the game? Same thing. If you give me laws in the Codex and the Fair Credit Reporting Act and the legal system, okay, and you give a Jew the same thing, and we give you, a Jew and you, this handful of information, you may interpret it in a completely different and ineffective way. And until you have applied it in an effective way consistently, you have nothing to say. It's just theory to you. So you shouldn't even have an opinion about it. You shouldn't have an opinion about this. This is fact. This is based upon data that we can track, that we know that has worked. No one can say shit about this. If you've heard enough and you want to get your student loan removed, or let alone anything, a late payment, a foreclosure, a $50,000 late payment like we got for this client, a student loan like we got from the video down below. There's just too many things that I've removed. Stop wasting time. Let's change your life. I'll see you on the next one.